if I floated away tomorrow, sailed away tomorrow, I wouldn't be too bothered, because sometimes these things happen. I've had my good times here. I've got a wealth of experiences and memories and photographs and stuff. Time to move on, you know. Let it go, you know. Good. Just pull the other one now. Just going to catch my breath a bit. Lovely. You've got to be a bit sensible in the snow. Don't, you know, you're here on your own. Don't take chances. Don't, you know, walk too close to the edge, and don't take risks with footholds, because I still have to climb down the rocks and get water. But I've got it off to such a routine now, and it's so. I've got it, you know. I've got a system, and I always stick to the system, and it's bulletproof. It's when you veer off the system that you start making mistakes. The snow doesn't. It may slow me down a bit, I suppose, but just because I'm being overcautious, really. But there's no, you know, nothing wrong with that. So, no, I love the snow. I love it. It's great. You know, like I love the summer. You know, there isn't a bad season here, and it's and the fire's going indoors, you know, and you can always nip in there and have a warm up. Which sort of, you know, empowers you really to come out here for an hour or so and do some work, knowing that you can run back in and get your clothes dried off. And it's at the risk of like wearing the cliche out, it's real here, you know, it's very real. Okay, cockerel, you've got the message. And it's going to feel like an oven in here. dogs do that nesting thing where they do a circle, don't they? So it's like a nest, isn't it? And it is warm. God, I don't know what it's made of, but it's really cosy in there. Yeah, she clearly likes it. If she can sit in front of the fire for the rest of her life, she's happy. She's not a great going outside dog, not when it's cold. The countryside belongs to everyone, you know, and I think it's terrible the way I'll tell you what it is. They're turning the countryside into a commodity. They're selling it back to us now. By the time you've paid to park your car, bought a few knickknacks from the blooming shop at the side of some place of outstanding natural beauty, they've turned it into a commodity. Now that bit of land, that thing they put a fence around and stuck a few signs up in the car park, now it turns over X amount of £1,000 a year. It's a commodity. And that's wrong. That's so wrong. You can't sell our countryside back to us. It's ours. Do you know what I mean? and that's kind of what I'm doing here, really. You know, I'm not being sold this. It's mine. You know, how dare you try and put it in a box and stick your signs up and you know, that's kind of where I am. And every opportunity I explain that to my kids and their kids. You know, no one tells you not to go there. That's yours. You can camp there. You can have a fire there. We've been doing it for thousands and thousands and thousands of years here, and all of a sudden, oh no, you got to pay. No fires. You know, it's wrong, isn't it? It's the anthropological side of bees I like. It's the people that have been involved in just this handful of bees. You know, you've got to kind of know what you're holding there. One bead has been passed down from generation to generation over hundreds and hundreds of years. It's been swapped. It's moved families on a swap. Then it was owned for maybe 10 generations. You know, the people would pass it down to their children and then it was swapped again. Do you know what I mean? If you could just take any bead and unravel its history, if there was any way of going back through time to find out any one bead, would blow your mind. Do you know what I mean? It would blow your mind. It's been on ships. It's travelled on camel trains. Do you know what I mean? It would just blow your mind. You know, it might have even been worn by someone who was killed in a battle and he had it took off him, you know. It's numbing what any one of those bees has been through. It's life. Look, there's a little puppy cat.
There's one stuck in the belly. Mum thinks there's one stuck in the belly.
Yeah, we think so too. It's only 1 day old, it's brand new.
really trying to push, isn't she?
She's run out of energy. She's been trying all night.
Got any Vaseline? That there to me feels like it's a puppy.
It is. She just can't pass it, Joe.
I've got it. All right, darling.
Yeah, she's laying on the puppy. Joe's out of the way, Poppet.
That puppy's definitely dead. Look at it.
Yeah, but can we get it out?
I don't know.
Can't you just pull?
I'm trying, but I don't want to hurt her.
No.
It's obviously making her feel uncomfy. They normally use forceps for something like this, but we haven't got anything that we can use. Okay. Oh, I've got it.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, there's the after the birth as well. She's alright, she's still breathing. I think she is just fucking exhausted.
That happens with puppies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That stunk. I was heaving and trying to pull it out at the same
Oh
time.
my god, yeah. Well done, Joe.
Find it hard to walk a straight line. I think I'm finally losing my mind. I'm leaving all my worries, I'm leaving all my worries behind. So sweet, I find it hard to keep my balance. So sweet, I find it hard to walk a straight line. I think I'm finally losing my mind. I'm leaving all my worries, I'm leaving all my worries behind. Slow down, we're rolling down a grassy valley. Slow down until you really know how it feels. We're gliding through kaleidoscope wheels. I'm falling for your magic, you got me falling head over heels. Never a day without your love. A shower as the sun shines up above. It only takes a moment to realize we're all living under magical skies. So sweet, I find it hard to keep my balance. So sweet, I find it hard to walk a straight line.
We appreciate this valley water when you don't get it like that. By the time you've carried that back, that water has real value.
I'm leaving all my worries behind.
I've got 4 sons, and they're not sunbathers. They're all they all do sort of physical type jobs, and so they bring their wives and their children here, and in a short space of time they're bored, so they start getting the shovels out, and they've actually constructed the stepway that has brought us up here. They've just done it for people to have a nice spot for their tents. So you come up the centre stairway, and then off either side are levelled areas for people to camp on, because we thought you couldn't have a bad day waking up to that view. My thoughts are my own here. I'm not influenced by the media or the television or any sort of stressful bills and things. So majority of the time what's in my head's very clear and my thoughts are my own. I self-generate. I like my water to come out of the spring because I find all this dependency on water companies and power companies claustrophobic. So I decided to remove myself from that as much as possible, self-generate, and I find that quite liberating. Thought it'd be nice to have an electricity supply, so I've built my own. I generate my own, and it works very well. I haven't had one power cut this winter. This is an engine that was deemed unsafe by the health and safety, so it was removed from a bit of plant because it's got a starting handle, so I was able to get it there's a lot of dumb cars come over here. People, for various different reasons, launch cars off the cliff. And my son managed to abseil down to one of them. He's been up there a couple of years and took an alternator off it.
This is the, they took the alternator out of this, which is what gives Dad his electric now. So, a bit of wood. So, he's used parts off of this this car to provide himself with electric on his little generator he's got down there. So, it still works, but we'll have that bit of wood. We'll go to the coals.
My needs are small, you know, I don't use a lot of power, but this keeps me going 24 hours a day, providing I start the engine about half an hour in the evening when there's no one about, because it's very noisy. So the engine drives the alternator feeds, charges the batteries, it then converts it through an inverter, household electric. I will start the beast. Prepare to hold your ears.
No one else has got an old man that lives this lifestyle that I know of, so it's a little bit different sort of thing. I tell all my mates and that, and they're like, wow, you know, what an amazing sort of place to have, and to have a dad that sort of lives the eco lifestyle down on the beach, you know, tries to live off the land as much as possible and all that sort of stuff. So it's I do boast about it to my mates, really. It's quite cool, really. A bit of a cool dad, I suppose. I'd love to be able to do it, and everyone that walks past would love to be able to do it. It's just getting round to doing it and having the guts and the determination.
This is my new toy that I got on eBay for £82. It's a Mayfield garden tractor. It's the answer to my prayers here because it deals with the beach really well. It has no problem getting grip. It carries heavy loads. It uses no petrol hardly at all. It's 60 years old, and in fact it was little machines like this that fed this country during and after the war when we couldn't get the supplies in. Because of the distance involved in getting stuff the 1.7 miles from the road to here, this is an answer to a prayer. Beautiful stone. Catching a few rocks up, mostly the granite ones, they're the best ones because they're heavy and they lock in nicely, to build up a bit of a seawall. Primarily I've got it to move things along the concrete, stores, stuff I need, food, fuel, things like that. Not so much in the summer where we cycle it along, but in the winter it gets a bit tough moving stuff about. So once I get a trailer on it, I'll be able to sit on a chair and steer it along. Brilliant machine. A Mayfield garden tractor. Hello Jess. Where's your puppy? Little by little, poco e poco, as they say in Poco Land, and walls get built. But one rock at a time. $30 years ago, a company called Mears, a local construction company, did work here. They put in a sea wall, which the land has since subsided over. Here's the wall here, And you can see I've used GPS to put various marker sticks along it. It meets up with the wall that you've walked along today. This lot slid. Prior to that, this concrete, which was paid for under the heading of sea defences by a central government, they put this in. You would like to think, and I'm awaiting paperwork and maps to confirm it, when you own a piece of land, you tend to delineate it with a fence, a hedge, a trench or something, don't you? That concrete, they wouldn't have just slapped it anywhere, the sea defence people. They would have put that concrete on the edge of Network Rail's land. That used to be, in 1843, a sheer cliff face, but it's since subsided, come down and overwhelmed that concrete. This concrete is 30 years old. It was placed there right along the borderline of their land. If you then look up there, you can clearly see I'm not on it. They're being pushed, I know, because there's more to this. Someone else has inspired Network Rail to do this. We're not quite sure of their motives, but
Do you know who they are?
no, we suspect it's the people who are supposed to be the custodians of this land, the official custodians who never actually come here. I think their nose is a bit put out of joint because for nothing, and they're paid, I've come in and cleaned it up, and I've got an awful lot of support to show that. Morally, I'm still obliged to leave this beach as I found it. Until that hurdle doesn't get crossed, then I will formulate a contingency plan with probably a deconstruction job and shift it somewhere else, or with not so much as a crisp packet on it, because that's the kind of person I am, do you know what I mean? The thing is, at this point, I have to prove to the registrar that I have grounds for defence. If he doesn't think I have, then he'll just go, no, this is a load of rubbish, you've got nothing to go on here, mate, you're just clutching at straws. Every time someone comes in here with a claim that they're not on someone's land, I'll get 20 a week like that, and I'll just, you haven't got any grounds. I think I have viable grounds to take it further. If it doesn't happen, if they say you've got 28 days to get off, then I'll get off. But I'll deconstruct this place first. All the vital materials, the woodwork, everything else, the stones can stay here, and I'll up sticks and go and do it again.
I think that what he's doing down here is just brilliant for everyone. He's so friendly, like just randomly just walking past, he chats to you, invites you for a cup of tea, and you end up talking about the most amazing things. And in actual fact, Mungo's teaching us things how to be again. I would challenge the authorities to come down here and actually spend a bit of time here with the people, and they would fall in love with it all as well.
Chicken. Do you know what their names are? They're all called Dinner, right?
Done. Yep.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. I think it's a big leap of faith, and it's not for everyone. But it's all about attitude. If anyone could do this, there's no big secret about it. Anyone could do it. It's about a state of mind, though. You have to be very determined, and it's the subjectivity of it. You can either see it as all really good, someone else sat in this chair could see it as just the worst existence ever. They would never cope with the dust and the grime and the carrying and the sawing and the dust and the grime. It is a slightly grubby existence, but not dirty in a germy way. You know, we don't get colds and flu here because the air's clear here. It's quite a healthy way to live. It is a healthy way to live. You just don't look very healthy sometimes because all your hands are scratched and cut, and, you know, from day-to-day living here. But it's real. I like it. There's a certain honesty about it. It's just real. We have a thing we say here a lot: zero stress. About the most stressful thing that ever happens here is we run out of milk or tea bags. That's the top stress level. We are not stressing about paying bills, we're not stressing about anything really. Just some days are so perfect, you know, the sun comes up and everyone plays and swims and catches fish, and it's paradise, I think. And I think without the media here, you know, not having television or papers and stuff, I'm not really stressed about what's happening in the rest of the country. I'm only concerned about what happens within 50 metres of this place, and that's nothing.
I think the irony for me is that both you, I, and our late brother Derek,
Yes, but he's
all
always late.
learnt to play the guitar independently of each other.
Yeah, it was obviously
None of us introduced
the other
any one
one.
of the other two to it, but we all picked it up, which kind of says to me that there is a gene for
We had
it.
no telly. That's what it is. The Jewish blood. It's actually, you can get damn good entertainment for absolutely nothing.
Yes. That is true. But the other irony is that we've all totally lived a different lifestyle.
Out of the box.
Yeah, we've all used the same ingenuity and guile and all those other words that mean we're not going to
guile.
conform.
Yeah.
We're not going to play the
Yeah.
game like... Just because you say they're
I
the
think
rules,
we think for ourselves,
kind of
don't
go...
we?
Yeah. We don't assume that because that's the way it's done that it's the best way to do it. Yeah, annoying, isn't it?
See if there's any eggs. There better be. One? Are you joking? One?
you're with me, won't even have to try.
You know what's coming, don't you? It's a good eater. The paperwork the network rail have furnished me with, everything is worked from this map here on the indenture. It's the only map that has any legal standing at all. These further maps are terrier maps that have been put together by Network Rail purely for the youth, for the youth, so they can do work on the track, and whereas other bits they're internally done, and this is an 1843 map. These ones, the more recent maps, have been taken from, lifted straight off of Ordnance Survey maps, and they've kind of overlaid this map onto it and made it fit. These are terrier maps. They have no legal standing whatsoever. They're just purely there for their work. I intend to prove, and I have quite strong evidence, that since 1843, and it shows a very definite line where the cliff face was, that I am not inside their land. This indenture, which is a legal document, that's the only map that they can work from. This one here, and I have a photocopy of it there. It's tricky work. The only thing we have is the old Folkestone Road. You can't even assume that the Folkestone Road is still in the same place. It may have been moved. I need to find out exactly where that road ran, and I'm pretty sure that junction there is Farthing Low. That point is still there, so that's one point I can work from, the Farthing Low turning. It would seem, from the cliff face here, it doesn't even show tunnel entrances or Abbott's Cliff, and there's no legend or scale, so that could be a quarter of a mile or it could be 10 miles. So I've got very little to get some fixed points with which I can work my datums from. That's one of them. I need one more, and then I can triangulate all the way from that road. But initially I'm going to run a GPS down the existing old Folkestone Road, not the new one, which this is, and then I will then have basically a squiggly line, and then by rescaling that and overlaying it onto a modern map, if that fits, then I've got my datum, and that's what my GPS findings I hope find. Yeah.
And then if you wander on over, you can try from over there.
Brilliant. Pinstripe would be nice for court, wouldn't it?
I think pinstripe looks pretty...
And trousers to match as well.
Pretty dapper. And then you've got your shirts and ties there, £6 for a shirt and tie.
I've no idea what collar size I have.
Okay, I can get that organised. 1 second.
Thanks very much. 35 quid. Robbery! How can you find it? And have they got a huge...
I think it's really great that you're going tomorrow, like proper, you know, prepared and that, with your little folder and and your haircut and your new suit. Bless you, it's great.
How do you think he's going to get?
No, that's what I mean. I don't think you should give up on saying if you think it's really worth it. Do you know what I mean?
And it clearly
Don't matter
is
what it is.
for all of us, you know, it's not just...
And it's not just us as family and my friends and stuff, it's people that have never been there before, that just come on a walk or they're staying at the campsite, you know, and they're just all fascinated.
amazed by it, aren't they?
They are, and you've never had like someone go, ooh, and say something horrible. They've all been really nice and they've liked what you've done. Everything that's on that house and that, it just fits, doesn't it? And even though it was all found on the beach and it washed up and you've collected it and stuff, I don't know, it's really weird.
Just enough.
Yeah, just enough for everything, like it was meant to be almost, do you know what I mean?
Whilst doing a survey, we were banging some sticks in to try and delineate where we considered the border of Network Rail's land was. We banged some stakes in, and we had problems doing that. We then discovered that there seemed to be a concrete seawall that was constructed by a local company called Mears in 1980, and in the great hurricane storm of 87, the land had slid across that line, but the line still holds. And suggested that the seawall delineated the edge of their land as written in the original 1843 maps. He then kind of looked at the barrister, and the barrister went, there does appear to have been some land slippage there, but given that the line goes all the way down to the centre of the earth and all the way up to the heavens, and started talking about something 84, 83, blah, blah, blah. He's adjourned the case until after a date of September the 9th, only for a hearing of 30 minutes only. I don't know why he said 30 minutes, I'm not really sure about that, but I'll seek advice. He then said, this can prove to be very expensive for you. And I went, yes, I appreciate that. I suggest you get legal representation. And that's what I'm going to do. And that was, in fact, exactly what we wanted to happen. We needed an adjournment. They now have to walk along the 2.5 miles and tell me when that case will be heard again after September the 9th for no more than half. I'm not quite sure about that 30-minute. It's a 30-minute hearing. Anyway.
Just to let you know how much I really love you so. Built it here by the sea, so baby
The
you
Warren,
can see.
fantastic. Like I say, just want to wrap my house around me at the weekend off. First hurdle vaulted. Nearly touched the hurdle, do you know what I mean? But we're over it. Press on, phase 2. That's a little game.
Long sweet cross, got the vision and wonder, a blessing to the eye. Laid back, relaxing, watching on the baby dragonfly. High life, we got a cottage by the sea. Forever there will always be you and me. So high on life, nothing left to fear, as long as we can draw each other near.
During the day, a number of offenders were identified, arrested and taken out of circulation. Officers took a tougher approach and intervened earlier to disperse groups before trouble began. Leave was cancelled and special constables were mobilised. Mutual aid was stepped up.
The pendulum swings. One day it's in my favour, one day it's in their favour. And at the moment, it's just swung in my favour. How long that situation stays like that, I don't know. But they've gone very quiet. And I'm sure they're digging somewhere to find something else to throw me out with. I'm going to take this area over, turn it into a commodity and make money. The great God. If through natural events or economic events or whatever, if it all went pear-shaped, places like this, you're going to need them just to survive. You know, you're not going to live on an orchid, do you know what I mean? It's, you know, you're going to need the rabbits and all the other stuff that grows here, do you know what I mean? But if you wipe them all out so we can all come and look at one poxy orchid or one moth, do you know what I mean? You know, this is our larder. This is nature's larder, isn't it? And you're clearing all the larder out and putting one grain of ice in there. Well done. We'll all eat that then. I'm rambling now, like the silly old fool I am. given the chance, I could build a house and people would pay me to build a house, because people will, as I've said before, I think the pallet is an ideal building block because it's got a cavity and 2 walls, so you could fill it with insulation and waterproof it, and people will pay you to take pallets away. And then, as you've seen before with the paper bricks I make from the shredded paper, tons and tons and tons of shredded paper are being pumped out of London on a daily basis. They make incredibly good thermal blocks that you can insulate a house with, and people will pay you to take shredded paper away. So I actually think I could get people to pay me to build my own house. Bottom line is the surveyor says I really don't know whose land he's on.
Just get in then. Why don't you just go in your house like you're supposed to?
I've heard through the grapevine that Network Rail have no problem with me here, but they're under extreme pressure to get me off here from National Heritage or English Heritage or one of those environmental do-gooders, and that's why I've got to go, really. I can't beat them. Well, I'm fighting the government. My solicitors have rolled over and won't defend me the way I want them to, although we've consistently asked them to go one way. So we assume the solicitors have been nobbled at some point, possibly because they're government funded, so they kind of got to watch their arse anyway. That is just the best spot ever for a dog, isn't it, by the fire? It's all about the trees and the birds and the plants and the whales and what about people? Do you know what I mean? They're kind of quite important. They're an integral part of the land. To an extent, I feel maybe there's not much more I can do here. No, this is just one chapter in my life. One chapter in my life, and when this chapter's finished, I'll go on to another chapter. It'll end when it ends.
Dad went out for the day shopping, so I came down at about, I think it was about 9:30 Saturday morning. It got to about 4:30 and I was getting a bit hungry, so I sent him a text message asking, you know, what time are you due back, because I'm hungry, do I cook something or are you bringing back chips? And Dad's dog Bryony came out and was sniffing the air sort of thing. That was about, I think that was about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And Jamie turned around and said, look at Bryony. And I was like that, and he was sniffing the air. And he said he can smell Dad. And then we was all in here thinking, well, where the bloody hell is he, sort of thing. And it got to about 7:20, and his brand new inverter that he'd only installed 3 days ago just completely packed up, lost all lights, all power. Tried to phone him, his phone rang a couple of times, and other times it was dead. And sort of you just think, well, where the bloody hell could he be, sort of thing. So I got a phone call from my sister Jodie saying Marie's just called, Dad's fell off the bike, and that was all the message was. And then as I arrived on the scene, I instantly knew things weren't good, and the situation wasn't good at all. We certainly don't think he suffered. There was no, as far as we're aware, there was no movement from the initial impact. There was no effort to reach for his phone. There was no effort to put himself in a more comfortable position than the one he was originally in, so we believe there was no suffering.
if I floated away tomorrow, sailed away tomorrow, I wouldn't be too bothered, because sometimes these things happen. It's this constant desire to own things, isn't it? I don't own the house, do you know what I mean? And when I leave it, I don't really care what happens to it. Time to move on, you know. Let it go, you know.
Just to let you know how much I really, really love you so. I built it here by the sea, so baby you can see all of this world is what you mean to me. I'm on my journey to heaven, all the summers past, we and the dandelions roaming in the long sweet grass. We got the vision and wonder, a blessing to the eye. Laid back, relaxing, watching all the baby dragonfly. Life. We got a cottage by the sea, forever there will always be you and me. So high on life, nothing left to fear, as long as we can draw each other near. To let you know how much I really, really love you so. I built it here by the sea, so baby you can see all of this world is what you mean to me. Summer days, sweet dizzy haze, my love, call our spirit to be free. Way up high, here in the heavenly sky, my dear, this I long to be. Something, watching and wondering